Good evening, Barbadians. This is Victor Callender. Today is June the 19th, Juneteenth here in the United States. Time is now 20:56 or 8:56 p.m. I'm back with you again relative to the subject of crime in Barbados, the Attorney General, and the Commissioner of Police in Barbados. Um, I want to bring into context the fact that Barbados has had how many attorneys general now over the last mm, 20 years? How many? Let's let's bring that into light. How many attorneys general have Barbados had over the last 20 years? From let's use from Owen Arthur, who was there for about 14 years, 15 years. David Thompson, um, and Frondell Stewart, and now Mia Amor Motley. Okay? The crime situation under all of those prime ministers started to escalate. Not de escalate, escalate. You could call it due to cultural appropriation or whatever you want to make it analogous to. It was there. Now, there are those who are lathered up in getting rid of Dale Marshall and having him demit his position. And though I believe that from a political standpoint, uh, Dale Marshall is probably on his last legs politically and eventually should give away to a younger Barbadian politician in the Barbados Labour Party. I do not believe that Dale Marshall is a consumed, um, relegated to nothingness political asset necessarily. I don't believe that for 1 minute. I do not believe that he does not have the cerebral and or legislative ability to be a member of parliament. Now, if you ask me a question and you were to say, Victor, do you believe that if there was a cabinet reshuffle and Dale Marshall was moved to another cabinet portfolio, do you think that the crime situation in Barbados could be looked at differently? I would have to say yes. But I do not think that as a political asset in the Barbados Labour Party that Dale Marshall is used up, washed up, and of no service. There are those who would have postured into the belief system that someone like Ralph Thorne, before he left the Barbados Labour Party, would have been a good contender for the Attorney General of Barbados. I totally disagree with that. Totally disagree with that. Anyone offering such an idea has not looked at Ralph Thorne. Ralph Thorne is a pedestrian legislator at best. Piss poor politician. He does not come equipped to deal with issues. Look at where he is now. He is the lone person in the Democratic Labour Party in a multifaceted position from which he should shine. He's the only person in the Democratic Labour Party in the opposition sitting in Parliament, and he does not come prepared to do his job. So we could not have offered him, and I'm glad the Prime Minister of Barbados, Mia Amor Motley, did not offer him the position of Attorney General of Barbados at any time. The situation is not of crime is not a situation that you can put the Attorney General or the Commissioner of Police in crocus bags and have a crocus bag race with them about. No, it's deteriorating standards in Barbados that, have led to a kaleidoscope of criminality and the criminal industrial complex, which is now developing in Barbados more quickly than anything else. Not to um, conjoin the Attorney General and the Commissioner of Police and put that blame squarely at their feet. If you, as Barbadians, have the intentionality across the board to solve the criminal problems in Barbados, you would go to your legislative body, which is the House of Assembly, and your constituent representatives, who will be your members of parliament, and you would voice your concerns and you would do something about it. You can't blame necessarily the 30 people who are in the House of Assembly for the crime situation in Barbados without looking at yourselves, without looking at Barbadians across the board, man. That is not right. That is not tenable at all. That is unfair. Barbadians must take stock of what is going on in their own homes and communities, and they must offer something that is better, a greater resolve to solving crime other than placing the blame on any politician at all. It starts in your own home. And when you have lost your way and you have appropriated a culture similar to the United States or elsewhere in Barbados, it creates what Barbadians are now faced with. It does create that. So while there are those people who will call for the head the heads plural of Dale Marshall and the Commissioner of Police, I do not believe that at all. That should be laid at their feet. I do believe that Dale Marshall, if not looking at moving away from politics soon, should start thinking about it. Any politician who has been there, to include the Honorable Prime Minister of Barbados, should start making way for younger politicians to come and serve Barbados. 200, almost 300,000 people in Barbados. We have to find a talent pool that permits for people to come on board and serve the country. It's good for Barbados. And I believe that political term limits should be something that all politicians should bring to fruition. Why would anybody want to stay in political office or contention? That's a hard job to do, to campaign, to make sure that you're pleasing your constituents. You're out at constituency meetings and you're doing talks and different things, and you're going abroad, time away from family. After 2 or 3 terms, it's way too much. That's long time that you're spending dealing with dealing with issues as if there are not other talented Barbadians in that pool out there. Train up, train up young Barbadian men and women to come forward and serve our country rather than have people who are in politics and have placed themselves in some political chasma and not given way to younger people who will be willing to serve in most cases. I believe that the time has come, but I do not believe that the guillotine should be dropped on the head of Dale Marshall and the Commissioner of Police at all about this crime wave. I believe that that situation is held at the behest of the Barbadian public, the population of Barbados. And the Guinea multitude must do its very best to rise up above placing blame at the feet of people rather than looking in the mirror at themselves. I believe that. And I want to offer that. And I would welcome conversation about that with anybody. No, No, Rob Thorne would have been a complete debacle as the Attorney General of Barbados. That is not even a questionable situation. The man does not prepare himself for Parliament. He's often misguided um, as it references a lexicon of ideas. He is missing the boat, seriously. And you cannot have a ship without a captain and a boat without a rudder. It must not happen ever, ever.
Help me spread the word about Naked Departure via social media. Subscribe and share to show support and love for our channels.